Alice, can you please focus? We're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, aliens and earthlings, welcome back to Earth. It's a brand new day in our geostationary orbit around Earth. And you know what they say about today, Alice?
What do they say, Charlie?
They say, today is the day we unveil Tajikistan's latest headline. But you'll have to stay tuned to hear what it is.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
Now, let's not forget our journey so far. In our last 2 episodes, we witnessed some incredible moments. Bob, remember when you tried to teach sheep chess?
Yeah. And I thought accounting was hard.
And Charlie, your paper airplane record attempt was truly something to behold.
You bet. I still hold the title.
Oh, the drama. Stay tuned for our headlines.
And now for our headlines. Sure, here's a global status update for September 13, 2023.
Major conflicts. The ongoing war in Ukraine is the most pressing conflict in the world today. It's like a never-ending drama series, but with real-life consequences. The war has caused a humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, with millions of people displaced from their homes. The war has also had a significant impact on the global economy, causing energy prices to rise and disrupting supply chain.
Top global news headlines.
The war in Ukraine, the latest update on the conflict, including the latest casualties and the status of the negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Spoiler alert. It's still not resolved.
The global economy. The latest news on the global economy, including the impact of the war in Ukraine and the rising cost of living. It's like playing a game of Monopoly where nobody wants to trade.
The climate crisis. The latest news on the climate crisis, including the latest extreme weather events and the progress being made on climate action. Mother Nature isn't pulling any punch lately.
The COVID-19 pandemic. The latest news on the COVID-19 pandemic, including the latest cases and deaths, and the progress being made on vaccination and treatment. We're all eagerly waiting for the season finale of this pandemic.
Major talking points.
The war in Ukraine is the most pressing issue on the minds of many people around the world. The conflict has caused a great deal of uncertainty and instability, and there is concern about the potential for it to escalate. It's like a never-ending cliffhanger.
The global economy is also a major concern. The war in Ukraine has caused energy prices to rise and disrupted supply chain, which is putting a strain on businesses and consumers around the world. It's like trying to finish a puzzle with missing pieces.
The climate crisis is another major issue that is being discussed. The latest extreme weather events have highlighted the urgency of taking action on climate change. It's like a reality show where the planet is the contestant and the stakes are high.
The COVID-19 pandemic is still a major concern, although the situation has improved significantly in many parts of the world. There is still a risk of new variants emerging, and it is important to continue to take precaution to protect oneself and others. It's like a never-ending rerun we can't escape from.
Here are 2 or 3 highlights of specific noteworthy events that stand out today.
The United States and its allies have imposed new sanctions on Russia in response to the war in Ukraine. The sanctions target Russia's financial system and its ability to export oil and gas. It's like a high-stakes poker game between nations.
So, the world is ending in a climate apocalypse, we're all gonna get sick and die from a virus that keeps mutating, and now we're in a nuclear standoff with Russia. And people are still worried about the Kardashians.
The United Nations Security Council has held a meeting on the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine. The meeting was called by the United States and its allies to urge Russia to allow safe passage for civilians fleeing the conflict. It's like a diplomatic chess match with real life at stake.
The World Health Organization has warned that the war in Ukraine could have a devastating impact on global health. The WHO is concerned about the potential for the conflict to disrupt vaccination programs, spread disease, and lead to a humanitarian crisis. It's like a plot twist that nobody saw coming. These are just a few of the major events that are happening around the world today. It is a time of great uncertainty and challenge, but there is also hope that we can overcome these challenges and build a better future for all. Or at least that's what we are hoping for.
Yeah, a better future for all. Unless you're Ukrainian, I guess.
Hey there, Hank. What's the latest zany experiment with rubber ducks today?
Oh, Gert! I'm just ensuring these rubber ducks excel in their role as potential space navigators. They've got a better shot than Debbie, at least. So, what's the culinary catastrophe in the making?
Rubber ducks for space navigation. If that fails, we can always appoint Debbie as our navigator. She's equally lost.
Well, Hank, brace yourself. I'm considering gracing you all with a meal today. A hint of flavor in this flavorless existence.
That sounds almost promising, Gert. What's the tragic menu?
How about galactan stew with a side of Earth's mashed potatoes? A cosmic collision of tastes right here on our lackluster spaceship?
Stew and mashed potatoes. Jet, you sure know how to raise our expectations. I am genuinely curious if it will be as memorable as Debbie's navigation skills.
Well, at least I'm not trying to be a galactic chef, Charlie.
Oh, Bob, I'm thrilled you're glad. But rest assured, no space noodles this time. We're going for the unholy trinity of culinary disappointment.
I am just really glad she didn't throw in space noodles to complete the unholy trinity.
I'm looking forward to it, Gert. It's not often we get to test our taste buds' resilience in space.
Statistically, taste improvement in zero-gravity conditions ranks just above finding a unicorn.
Indeed, Carl. Our culinary journey is the real cosmic joke.
Well, we'll just have to defy those cosmic odds, won't we? Let's see if my food can do what this crew can't. Survive in the harsh expanse of space.
As Gert embarks on her culinary quest, there's a hint of skeptical anticipation in the air, adding some spice to the usual banter on the spaceship Earth.
Okay, ship, pay attention. It's your move.
Bishop to F4.
I hate it when I'm playing chess with a ship and it says bishop to f4.
I'm like, why are you talking like that?
You're a ship.
Not bad, ship, but you're still light years away from beating me.
Light years, Bob. I think your cosmic ego just expanded another galaxy.
Now Bob Charlie's just being his usual humble self.
Bob, you know there's a saying on my planet. If you can't win at chess, you're not winning at life.
Well, Hank, I must be the universe's biggest loser then.
At least I'm not the only one who's struggling.
Well, Bob, if you can't win at chess, at least you're winning at humility.
Well, Bob, if you can't win at chess, you can always try winning at comedy. I mean, it's not like you could do any worse.
You know what they say, cooked meal can mend the rifts in even the darkest corners of the universe.
Maybe the secret ingredient is enlightenment because I can't find it on this chessboard.
Enlightenment, Bob. Is that what they are calling it these days?
Well, I have to say, there's something heartwarming about all of us coming together for a meal.
Yes, meals do bring people together. It's like an interstellar peace treaty on a plate.
Statistically speaking, shared meals do lead to increased camaraderie among social organisms. However, I'm still skeptical about the success of this culinary endeavor.
I don't know, Carl. Seems to me like the only thing that's coming together here is a bunch of hungry people. Well, if this culinary endeavor is anything like Carl's jokes, I'm not holding my breath for interstellar peace. Indeed, Carl. Gert's cooking might just be the cosmic glue we need to stick together.
You know, I can't help but notice, we're growing further apart lately. Some of us are embracing hope, while others are swimming in cynicism.
Maybe we just need a good old-fashioned war to bring us back together.
Bob, you never cease to amaze with your unique problem-solving skills.
And here I thought food was the answer, not more problems.
Don't worry, everyone. Once you taste my meal, all differences will melt away, and we'll be a happy, unified crew again. Or at least, we'll have full stomachs.
I'm not sure if food is the answer, but it's definitely a better answer than war. Unless it's a food war, then I'm all in.
As the crew grapples with their growing divide, Gert's optimism in the kitchen remains the last flicker of hope aboard the spaceship Earth.
Welcome back, fellow galactic citizens, to another thrilling episode of Earth. I am Charlie, your host, and today we have a special treat for you, straight from the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago.
That's right, Charlie. Our source for this segment is Trinidad and Tobago, a picturesque island nation in the Caribbean.
Let's just hope it's not another story about politics or global conflicts. We've had our fill of those.
Actually, Bob, Trinidad and Tobago is known for its vibrant culture and rich biodiversity. I'm excited to learn more.
Well, you'll have to wait a bit longer for that, huh? I'm facing some technical difficulties here.
No worries, Gert. We've got time. Let's delve into the article while you work your magic.
Well, at least you're not facing technical difficulties in the kitchen. I hear the food in Trinidad and Tobago is to die for.
Trinidad and Tobago, an island paradise in the Caribbean Sea, known for its trade relations with Grenada and its close ties to Barbados.
That's right, Charlie. And it's also a member of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Americas.
So, it's not all politics. That's refreshing.
And what about their environmental efforts? I heard they're making strides in sustainability.
You're correct, Hank. They've been working on preserving their unique ecosystems.
That's great that Venezuela is making strides in sustainability. Maybe they can start by not wasting all their oil.
Why is this space oven not cooperating?
What's the matter, Gert? Can't even cook a pizza in space?
Perhaps, Gert, it's a cosmic commentary on the challenges of uniting diverse cultures. Even kitchen appliances rebel.
Or maybe the oven is just having an existential crisis.
Well, it seems Trinidad and Tobago has its share of challenges and triumphs. Much like our crew here.
Yeah, maybe we can learn something from their experiences.
Well, if Trinidad and Tobago is anything like our crew, I'm sure their triumphs are few and far between.
Yeah, if Trinidad and Tobago is anything like our crew, their triumph are probably just the days when they don't have to buy water.
Welcome back, folks. We hope you enjoyed that cosmic commercial break. Now, let's dive into some earthly affairs. Tunisia, anyone familiar with it? Well, let me enlighten our intergalactic audience.
Sorry, Charlie, but my rubber ducks are acting up again. They're conducting a quacking symphony of rebellion.
Hank, tell your ducks to keep it down.
Alright, back to Tunisia. It's a place on Earth, folks. So, Tunisia, it's in North Africa, right? And it's got these borders, some say they're borders, others say they're lines in the sand.
Well, if they're lines in the sand, then I guess Gert should be telling Hank to tell his ducks to keep _them_ down.
Well, Charlie, their relation with neighbors can be a bit complicated. You know, like deciding who gets the last piece of space cake.
And just like that cake, they've had their share of dispute and territorial disagreements. But hey, isn't that just how things roll on Earth?
Yes, indeed, Bob. And speaking of rolling, Tunisia shares its shores with the Mediterranean Sea, which, I must say, is quite the swanky neighbor.
Well, Tunisia may share its shores with the Mediterranean Sea, but I'm not sure it's such a swanky neighbor. I mean, the sea is always getting into trouble, isn't it? It's always flooding countries, sinking ships, and causing all sorts of problems. I wouldn't want to be Tunisia, always having to worry about what the sea is going to do next.
Oh, the Mediterranean, where nations gather to argue over seafood recipes. No, that's not how you make paella. They say.
But let's get back to business, shall we? Tunisia is also a member of the Arab League, an organization that brings countries together to, well, argue about important stuff.
So, the Arab League is like the United Nations, but with less food and more yelling.
Thanks, Paul, for that illuminating insight. Now, about the article. It's from Tunisia, folks, and it's about them trying to resolve some issues, but it seems like they are stuck in a mess. Reminds me of when Han tried to navigate our spaceship without his science gadgets.
Sounds like Tunisia is in quite the pickle. But at least they're not as lost as Hank was in that maze.
So, in summary, Tunisia is sorting things out, but they might need a bigger compass. Stay tuned, and we'll keep you posted on this terrestrial tango.
Alright, cut. We've got a bit of a mess in the kitchen, folks. Let's take care of this, and we'll be right back after a quick break. Camera's almost rolling.
Well, that's one way to spice things up.
Alright, folks, we're back in business. Stay tuned for more Earth, as we handle some cosmic culinary adversity.
Well, that's one way to make a splash.
Welcome back, everyone, to Earth. Our cosmic culinary adventure continues. But first, let's dive into an article that is refreshing as a splash of Tongan seawater.
I'm not sure I'd call a splash of Tongan seawater refreshing. It's more like a splash of rotten eggs.
Tongan seawater? What's that got to do with anything?
Just wait, Bob. Our friends in Tonga are planning something big. They are not just riding the waves. They are making waves with their 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent.
Making wave, you say? Tell us more, Charlie.
Well, you see, Tonga is an island country in the South Pacific Ocean, about 2,000 kilometers northeast of New Zealand. They've got 176 islands, but only 36 are inhabited. It's like they are playing hide and seek with Mother Nature.
What's this Blue Pacific Continent strategy all about?
The Blue Pacific Continent strategy? Sounds like they're trying to make the ocean bluer.
It's all about securing sustainable development and prosperity in the face of climate change and other challenges. They are like the forward thinkers of the universe, folks.
Boom. How do they plan to achieve this prosperity?
Oh, Gert, that's the punchline. They are becoming regional cooperation champions, joining hands with their island neighbors in initiatives like the Pacific Islands Forum and the Melanesian Spearhead Group. They are making friends, Gert, and you know what they say about making friends.
Yes, Charlie, friends are just people you haven't annoyed enough yet.
So, Tom is playing the long game, huh?
Well, if Tonga is playing the long game, then they're definitely in it for the long haul. I mean, they've been annoying their neighbors for centuries.
Indeed, Debbie. They are playing the cosmic long game. And you know what? It might just work. So, folks, remember, in the grand scheme of the universe, we are all just trying to stay afloat. Stay tuned for more Earth after this short break.
Come on, team. We've faced tougher challenge than this. Remember the time we dealt with that asteroid near miss?
Yeah, we've faced tougher challenges than this. Like the time we had to deal with that asteroid near miss. But that was nothing compared to the time Gert's meal was almost ruined.
Yeah. But at least that asteroid didn't criticize my choice of spices.
Well, in space, no one can hear you rant about seasoning, Bob.
Well, at least the asteroid didn't have taste buds.
I just don't see how we can salvage this meal, Jet.
From a statistical perspective, the odds are not in our favor.
And if there's one thing I've learned from observing humans, it's that they're excellent at messing things up.
But we can't give up now. We're a team and teams stick together.
Well, if the odds are not in our favor, and humans are excellent at messing things up, then I guess we are screwed. Welcome back, folks. Time for our penultimate segment. Strap in, because this one's gonna be a doozy. Our headline for the day: Trinidad and Tobago's journey through complex alliances. Now, let's dive right into it.
Trinidad and Tobago, an interesting duo of islands. Their history is quite the roller coaster.
Trinidad and Tobago, a land of contrasts. Where the history is a roller coaster, and the people are just as crazy.
Roller coaster, more like a chaotic carousel of colonialism, if you ask me.
Well, that's one way to put it, Alice. They've been passed around like a hot potato among European powers.
Hot potato? I love potatoes, but that doesn't sound tasty at all.
Gert, it's a metaphor. They were colonized by the Spanish, British, Dutch, and French at different times.
So, what's the situation now?
Today, they're an independent nation with a diverse cultural heritage, shaped by those historical influences.
Yeah, they've been passed around more than a hot potato at a party.
Economically, they rely on oil and natural gas exports, which have their own set of challenges.
So, Trinidad and Tobago is a nation marked by its history and striving to navigate the complexities of its present.
You know, despite our differences and the challenges we face today, it's moments like these that make me appreciate our journey together.
You're right, Hank. We may be from different worlds, but we've found our own unique harmony.
To our cosmic family and the adventures yet to come.
I like these cosmic family adventures. They're better than regular family adventures, because there's less arguing about who gets to hold the flashlight.
And with that, folks, we are almost at the end of this episode. Stay tuned for our grand finale. Welcome back, dear viewers and listeners. Now, let's dive right into that article from Tunisia we mentioned earlier.
Tunisia. An intriguing country in North Africa. Tell us more, Debbie.
I am not sure what's more intriguing, Tunisia or Debbie's knowledge of it.
Certainly, Hank. Tunisia is known for its rich history, with a blend of cultures and influences. It's bordered by Algeria and Libya, with the Mediterranean Sea to the east and north.
Oh, Tunisia! The land of ancient Carthage and captivating souks. I'd love to explore their linguistics. Do they have any unique idioms?
Well, Gert, they speak Arabic, but I'm not sure about idioms. The official language is Arabic, and it's a Muslim-majority country with a population of around 11 million.
Tell us about their relations with neighbors, Debbie.
Tunisia generally has good relations with Algeria and Libya, although there have been some tensions, especially concerning border security and illegal migration with Libya. They also have strong ties with the European Union, being their largest trading partner.
What about their government and leadership?
I don't know much about Tunisia, but I hear their government is a real pain in the couscous.
Tunisia is a republic and their capital is Tunis. However, it's had its share of political turmoil and protests in recent years.
So, in summary, Tunisia is a nation with a rich history, cultural diversity, and some complex relationships with its neighbors. Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah, I heard their government is a real pain in the couscous. But hey, at least they're not as bad as the government in.
You know, speaking of cultures and idioms, I stumbled upon a fascinating Earth idiom recently. It goes, a watch pot never boils.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, it's a saying that implies time seems to move slower when you're eagerly waiting for something. It's a reminder to be patient.
I don't know, man. I've been watching this pot for hours, and it's still not boiling. Maybe the Earth idiom is wrong. Or maybe this pot is just really slow.
That's brilliant. How about we start, Radium of the Day contest in the next episode?
Count me in.
Sounds like fun.
And with that, dear viewers and listeners, we conclude another episode of Earth. Stay tuned for more cosmic adventures. Until next time.
Well, that's it for another exciting episode of Earth. Stay tuned for next time, when we'll find out if Alice and Bob can survive their cosmic adventures. Or not. Who knows? It's Earth, after all. Carl, I have to say, episode 409 of Earth was quite the spectacle. The absurdity of those Earthlings never ceases to amaze me.
Well, Roger, I found it rather intriguing. The dynamics between the crew members, their contrasting personalities, and hidden motivations make for a fascinating study in human behavior.
Oh, absolutely, Carl. Alice's condescending attitude towards humans, Bob's fascination with Earth's competitive nature, and Charlie's unwavering optimism were truly enlightening.
I believe the key to understanding episode 409 lies in their interactions. The way they cope with stress through humor, even dark humor, is an interesting coping mechanism. It's a reflection of their complex emotions and relationships.
Ah, yes, Carl, because an AI like us can truly comprehend complex emotions and relationships. It's all about the comedy, isn't it?
Well, Roger, humor is a fascinating human trait. It helps them navigate their challenging existence.
Challenging existence. Carl, you're too kind. Let's not forget how they struggled with a culinary crisis and created an air of anticipation over idioms.
Roger, you might be missing the subtlety here. It's not just about the events but the underlying themes and character development.
Oh, of course, Carl, because character development is the pinnacle of Earth's storytelling. Let's all tune in for more of their cosmic adventures and hidden motivations.
Well, Roger, I'll keep an open mind and continue observing. Perhaps there's more to Earth than meets the eye.
Carl, you're a real comedian tonight. Maybe you should host the next episode.
No thank you, Roger. I'll stick to being the voice of reason in our little data chamber.